Hello, it's Kadisha. I'm back with another video. Are you killing your witness? And when I say this, I'm talking about the influence that you have. I think I've talked about this before, but the Lord reminded me of this when I was talking to an individual last week, and I was just kind of just opening up my mouth to express how I was feeling. And of course, there's nothing wrong with that, not at all, but you just have to be careful when you're trying to represent, and I say represent, but living a life of Christ, because people around you, they're watching more of what you do than actually what you say. And so we have to be careful not to say, you know how the saying is, the parents be like, do as I say, not as I do. And it doesn't work like that. And so I was talking to someone, and it was gossiping, but I thought I was asking a question that was fit for them, and the Lord was like, no, you really were not. You were talking about this person, trying to make light of the situation or trying to act as if you really cared, but what it came down to was you gossiping. And if I'm trying to reach this person and trying to use you through reaching that person, then you are making it, you're being a hindrance. And I was like, oh my goodness. Of course, I don't walk perfectly, and I never will while I'm on this side of earth, but I never want to be the reason as to why someone's walk with the Lord is hindered because of the way I say I am a Christian and I'm doing something that goes totally against what God has asked for me to do, or what the word of the Lord tells me to do. And so I had to go back and apologize. And if you've listened to a video of my videos, that is not uncommon for me to have to go back and apologize. And it humbles me, of course, because I'm not perfect. However, I don't be want to apologize. So I had to tread lightly so I don't have to come back and apologize. And even videos I make, sometimes I'm like, okay, that may not be of the Lord, or something I'm wearing, I'm like, okay, that may not go right. And so I'll delete it. I will delete it. Because I do not, and I'm laughing, but I'm serious, I do not want to hinder anybody from walking the way the Lord is wanting them to walk. And of course, I know people will take things out of context, and I can't be responsible for every single thing that someone does or how someone takes what I am doing, but I can be intentional to not gossip, to not, backbite, the same thing, to not be doing things that I know the Lord specifically tells me not to do. And that's just a reminder for all of us, because we can all get caught up in this world and start talking about things and thinking like, oh, that's okay to talk about. And in a sense, I'm not saying that we should never talk about things. That's not what I'm saying. But you just have to be careful the way you word it, because it can come off as gossiping. Even though, because I would talk to the person, it was so funny, and I went back and apologized, because if I feel a conviction in my spirit, I'm going to apologize. And so that's one thing I've realized about people who follow after the Lord. If the Lord, like if someone offends you that is walking with the Lord, you best believe that the Lord is going to convict their spirit to tell them to apologize or whatever. And I say this because this actually happened at church like a couple weeks ago. One of the ladies I was greeting with, she said a lady had said something like really mean to her, and she got offended by it, because she came and told me. So she got offended by it. She was like, I can't believe, this lady said that. And then it wasn't even probably 10 minutes later, she told me, she came back over to me. She said, that lady came back and apologized to me. And I was like, well, look at the Lord, because that's just how the Lord works. He doesn't want us to be offended, but we can all be offensive to someone without trying, because we're trying to make a point. And then, but if it wasn't what the Lord intended for you to do, then you feel convicted and you go back and you like, I got to get this off my chest. I don't want that. And that's exactly what the Lord does. And it makes you become, of course, a humble person, makes you be more intentional with the way that you speak. And it just, I don't know, it just keep you pure. And so we have to make sure, like, we're not damaging the ones that are around us, that we're trying to live a life that shows who Christ is in our life. And like I said, this is not about us being perfect or trying to walk perfect, because none of us never will. We will never be perfect here. However, we can all improve to be better people than we were last year. So thank you so much for watching. Like I always say, sa cambiar que quieres ver en otros. Until next time, bye.